Hello and welcome into another edition of the Scorching Start on the Birds Broadcast Network. I'm your host, Sammy Miller, alongside your broadcasters, Ian Nicholas and Dylan Pescatore. And the Firebirds are back on the road, this time at Lowell Park, the home of the Cotuit Kettleers. After last night's super strange and crazy game against Falmouth, the Firebirds ended up losing 6-3, but a lot was going on, Ian, with the fog. There was a delay, then they came back, they played it, but still couldn't get the win. How hard do you think it was for the players?
Oh, it's like you're playing two completely different games. I felt bad for one of the players on the other team. Cassius, the pitcher for them, he had to warm up. Then the fog came in. He had to warm up once again. And then Thomas loaded the bases with 12 straight balls and no outs and somehow got out of a jam scot-free in the bottom of the sixth inning. Orleans just looked all out of sorts. They weren't able to convert on that opportunity. Then in the top of the seventh, what happens? Travis Bazana, 3-run home run. Game slipped on his head. He hits for the cycle later in the game. And it's all over. It's just so hard to string momentum, string together positive at-bats when you have that kind of time off. I mean, heck, I wasn't even as dialed in as I'm used to because it's just so hard to remain focused when, the baseball game almost becomes secondary out there.
It was also hard to almost see the players out there at certain points of the game, but one of the Firebirds' strongest parts of their game last night was, of course, their pitching. It was Sam Leboki to start things off, then Derek Clark came in, 4 innings, 4 Ks, no runs allowed. Riley Fry also came in, and he had a pretty strong outing as well. So what'd you see from those 3 arms last night, Dylan?
Yeah, we talked about it, Sammy, before. It was a full bullpen for the Firebirds, and Sam Leboki did his best through 2, got into a little bit of trouble in the 3rd. Derek Clark had to come into a 1st and 3rd, nobody out situation, which no one wants to be in. He allowed 2 of those runs, which goes to Leboki's run line. But after that, he really got into a groove. The middle innings were great for the Firebirds pitching. Riley Fry kind of ended it out, and still a pretty rested bullpen for this Firebirds team.
Now, a new face for the Firebirds is Justin Rubin. He recently just committed to Pepperdine, and he's known as the defensive guy. Today, he's actually in the DH spot. But, Ian, how do you think he's going to help this team moving forward?
Well, I think his position in the lineup kind of speaks to just how good he's been offensively. I mean, you're not DHing because, you're only good at defense. It's because you can provide something from the plate. In each of his 3 appearances, 2 of them in starts for Orleans, Rubin has looked like a much improved offensive player, at least statistically from the numbers he put up as a sophomore at Virginia. So a fresh start for him on the West Coast, but still on the East Coast for one summer here in the Cape Cod Baseball League. He's going to look to just bring a little bit more consistency to the top of the order. Johnny Olmstead, when he's on, he's on. But when he's off, he hasn't been able to get on base as much as maybe a Justin Rubin type, who has been able to reach in each of his first games, 3 games as a Firebird.
And shifting our focus to today's game against Cotuit, it'll be Dylan Jacobs, the right-handed pitcher from Stetson, starting on the mound. And he has been one of the most reliable pitchers, I would say, next to Daniel Avitia all season long for the Firebirds. Dylan, what should we be expecting from him today?
Yeah, Jacobs this season has been 3 really good starts and then 1 start that was a little bit shaky last time out against Hyannis. So we'll see how he can bounce back. Last time, it was 2 starts ago right here at Cotuit. His off-speed was working really, really well. His changeup, his slider, he was getting a lot of swing and miss, and he was matching Cam Hill, who right now might be the pitcher of the league with how good he's been, ERA under 1. He was matching him zeros through 5.
And Cotuit has really been one of the top teams in the Cape Cod League all season long. So, Ian, the question to you is why are they so good?
They hit the ball hard. They hit the ball really hard. I mean, come back to this last game. 4 of their 5 runs scored off 1 hit off Nate Ward, a grand slam from Ryan Galaney. Good news, Galaney's probably going to get drafted into the MLB over the next few days, so he'll be gone, but they still got firepower. Cole Mathis, he leads this team with 4 home runs, and Carter Matheson, start of the year, 0 for his first 10 or 11 ever since he's hitting 500. He's a star out of Indiana, and now he's a star here on the Cape, still wearing the same colors. Those 2 are a dynamic duo. This team leads the league in home runs with 19.
Geez, it is crazy, and it should be a very exciting game. But before we get to the game, I have to get the keys. Dylan, you're up first.
Got hit better at runners in scoring position. It was over 5 2 games ago. Last night wasn't too hot either. When the Firebirds get runners in scoring position, you got to find a way to get them home.
And Ian, how about you? What's your key?
Keep the ball in the ballpark. This is a team that likes to go yard. This is their home park. They know the dimensions well. You got to keep it inside the outfield.
Well, it should be a very exciting game, and stay tuned for a lot more content on the Scorching Start.
All right, let's go to war, boys. You guys keep it out.
I'm now joined alongside Firebirds manager Kelly Nicholson. Now, Coach, a bit of a strange game last night. The fog was heavy, and there was a delay. Then you guys finished the game. How hard was it going from playing to not playing and then back to playing again?
Well, what it did, we lost Derek Clark. He had to sit for 30, and once we had that 30-minute fog delay, he was finished. But hey, we have Riley Fry, who threw the ball really well last night. They had to play in it too. Their guy went out and was not very effective either. I think when he went back out, he may have walked the bases loaded, Cassius Thomas. But, both teams played in it. I'm glad that we got it in. It went away, and like I said, yeah, they made some errors. Falmouth made some errors, but we didn't do a very good job of capitalizing on that. And they pitched a little bit better and swung the bat a little bit better than Bazzana hit for the cycle, which was, I guess, kind of cool if you're on Falmouth's side. But you don't see that very often in the Cape, so, tip our cap to Bazzana. He's a good player, man. He's fun to watch. Plays with a lot of energy, Australian kid. Had a chance to visit with him before the game a little bit, and so, yeah, it's a cool story.
And another player who plays with a lot of energy is on your side, Derek Clark. Time and time again, he comes in and has huge games. Last night, he went 4 innings, 4 outs, and he was just phenomenal out there with a lot of energy and firepower. What does it mean to have a player like Derek Clark on your roster?
Yeah, well, every time DC toes the rubber, you're going to get strikes. You're going to get a lot of competitiveness. It's a lot of pitchability. He's good, man. It's going to be 88 to 91 with a very, very good changeup, and he knows how to spin the baseball. He can spin a curveball. He can spin a slider. He's awfully tough on lefties. They had 6 lefties in their lineup last night. He threw the ball extremely well again last night. So hopefully in 2 or 3 days he'll be good to toe the rubber again.
And one of the weaknesses last night was the ability to capitalize with runners on bases. How do you change that offensively?
Man, that's a good question, Sammy. I talked to Max a little bit today. We need to mix up our BP rounds a little bit and develop kind of a mindset and an identity as a player and as a team that, hey, when we have runners in scoring position, we're going to do whatever we can to get them in. And hey, it's not that there's a lack of effort, man. I love the way our guys compete, and sometimes the other side has a little bit to do with driving runs in too. So there are good arms out here every inning of every night, and we have to capitalize on misses. When they miss, we have to punish pitches, and Penny punished one last night with some guys on, and it was good to see him hit it on top of the band shell. That was pretty cool. So we'll see. They're going to be good again tonight. They're running a lefty from UC San Diego at us tonight. I think his name is Isaac Martinez. It's Hallbach's teammate. So we have a pretty good report, and we'll see what kind of information Hallbach delivered in his meeting with the hitters.
We love when we can get information from the other team, from a teammate. And the last time the Firebirds came here, it was a pitcher's duel. Mm-hmm. Both teams have very strong arms. What should we be expecting tonight?
Same thing. Dylan Jacobs is going for us, and I'm sure Martinez is going to be good for them. So I would expect a very good game again, at least on the pitching side. So we'll see. I'll tell you in about 3.5 hours, Sammy.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Coach.
All
Good
right.
luck tonight.
Thank you, Sammy.
Hey, set the tone, boys.
I'm now joined alongside Derek Clark. Now, Derek, of course, wasn't the outcome you wanted last night, but you had an incredible outing. 4 innings, 4 Ks, no runs allowed. How are you feeling on the mound?
I felt good. Everything was working in and out with the fastball, slider, changeup, curveball. Had it all going for me. So me and Henry were working really well together. Defense behind me did a nice job. So overall it was good.
Speaking of Henry, how is it to have a catcher who's always so involved and really just emphasizing the key points throughout the game?
Yeah, he's a true leader on the field. That's what you want in a catcher. I mean, he's very vocal. He wants to be heard. He's always positive, unless it's to himself at times, but that's how we all are. But no, he's a good dude. Same thing with Owen. They're both, I think, one of the best I've ever had behind the plate. So.
And it was a weird night with the fog. You guys were playing, then it was the delay, then you were playing again. So how hard was it for the team as a whole to still keep that strong mindset?
Yeah, especially the last couple of days, it's been tough. We haven't really played a whole lot, so it's kind of hard to get into a groove. But just staying focused on the task at hand and coming in each and every day, getting better, trying to work on our craft and go from there.
You also have some exciting news. You just recently committed to West Virginia. How excited are you to join that team?
Oh, I'm pumped. They're been very good the last couple of years. Had a lot of good conversations with Coach Mazey, Coach Sabins, and all them. So I'm pumped. I'm excited to go over there. So.
And that ballpark is known to get rowdy and loud. So how excited are you for that aspect as well?
Yeah, it'll be a lot different going from what I've been at to that. So, I mean, I just like playing in front of fans, trying to put on a good show for the people, and overall it's a lot more fun that way. So.
There you go. Thank you so much, Derek. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Who's got it?
That'll do it for this edition of the Scorching Start on the Birds Broadcast Network. Make sure you tune in at 5 o'clock when the Orleans Firebirds take on the Cotuit Kettleers.